Are you guys excited that it's almost Friday? I know I'm super excited that it's almost Friday. Like every Thursday now, I'm like, so close, so close. And it's not because I hate my job. I love my job. It's just because we're doing so much right now across the board between training new people, helping more clients, dealing with realtors, dealing with drama from forbearances and caviars and all those horrible things I talked about last week, that when the weekend comes, we all go, whew, and we need to recharge and get ready for the next week. And that's why often if you email me on the weekend, you will see an out of office, which I never did before until this year. But at this point, my team's working like 12 to 14 hours a day, each person. It's crazy. And at some point, you've got to just stop and reset. So if you guys are in a job where you're working that hard and you have the ability to just, I suggest doing it, because you've got to do that so that the next week you're not like, right? I don't know. That's a terrible sound. I do that to my family all the time. Like if someone's talking to me and they're annoying me, I'm like, it's horrible. I know. Okay. So I have a point. I'm sure I do. It's Thursday. Cool. Great. Okay. Well, California is still on fire. Shocker. I mean, I'm expecting kind of like we started our fires this year before fire season. So what's fire season going to look like? I don't even know. All I know is that we're already in the weeds of dealing with disaster zones with mortgages. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that today. This also affects other parts of the country, not the California fires, but you've got Hurricane Laura that came through. You've got tornadoes. I mean, it feels like every part of the country has some end of days weather issue or fire issue or something. Now, if you're watching this and you're like, we don't have any drama, can you please put where you live, not your address, but just tell us the county and state, because there's a lot of people in California and other states that are starting to figure out where they can live, where they don't have to have a suitcase packed at all times. So, getting a mortgage during a disaster. Here's the deal, guys. So basically what happens is we're seeing a couple of different things, and I see this every single year. And every single year, if we're doing purchases, a lot of realtors go, well, I've never seen that before. And it's like, guys, you have, because we did it last year. Here's my email to you last year where I say, hey, look, guys, based on this disaster, we have to do a secondary inspection of the property. And that's what we're doing right now. So right now, all the loans that we're getting ready to close or that are in process in the counties that have been declared FEMA disaster zones, we're ordering what's known as a DARE. What is it? Disaster Accident Incident Report. I don't know. It stands for something. Once again, Jen A on my team is the queen of the acronyms. So we order a DARE report. And what that is it's someone going out and verifying the property is still standing. And you're like, well, that's so stupid. Why would I want to pay for that? And I agree. I think it's not stupid. We're going to be nice here. So the reason why lenders want it, and it's not necessarily the individual lender, it's Fannie Mae, it's Freddie Mac, it's Ginnie Mae. They want to make sure that the house that they're about to give money for is standing. That's fair. That's fair. And they don't have the ability to go into each one and say, oh yeah, that should survive, that won't survive, that will survive, that won't survive. They don't have any ability to make that determination, especially when you're dealing with wildfires. Like right now, I'm back in my house. The fire is still 2 miles away. It's 2 miles away. I can't see it. I don't smell it today, thank goodness, but it's 2 miles away. And we're being told everything's okay, school's restarted, everything else, it's getting close to being contained. But if I was in, another part of the United States and I saw how close that fire zone was to my house, I'd be like, oh, not a chance in the world. And that's how lenders look at it. They can't make the determination of whether or not your house is standing, will be standing, etc. And that's why they have these incident reports go back out. Now, there's some areas where, for instance, there's a fire in Lake County, California, and parts of the county, if you leave a certain part of it, you can't get back in. There is no way a lender or an insurer is going to close on a house that is currently in an evacuation zone or is locked down because of fire risk. They can't take the risk. Why would they? Right? So you've got to be patient. You have to understand that, look, as a lender, I don't want your transaction to take any longer. I'm going to have to extend your lock. I'm going to have to deal with everybody yelling at me like I started the fires, even though we can't do anything. It's always, we get everyone going, well, make it work. Okay, let me get my water hose out. Like, what do you, like, guys, what do you want me to do? Like, we can't do anything. And I've done that. Every time it's fire season, I do this every single year. I call management and I go, this is ridiculous. Do you want me to drive by their house? I'll drive by their house. I'll do a full video. Hi, this is Bob's house. It's still standing. High five, Bob. Hey, Becky, it's your house. High five. And every time they tell me the same thing, and it makes sense every time, but I still try. So no, your lender is probably trying, but we're all being held to the same standard, which is we have to follow the guidelines for a disaster zone. Yay. Okay. So if you're in contract or if you're doing a refinance, etc., and you've already had an appraisal or you have a property inspection waiver, yes, we will be verifying if the house is still standing. Yay, that adds delays, it adds times. Your insurer may not let us close. It's hit or miss. There's some areas where it's 100% no way you're closing, and there's some where it's like, well, we can close, but the insurer won't, or the insurer will, but the lender won't. So it is a cluster. Okay, here's the other thing to know. If you're buying a house right now, let's say you just got in contract, because we have this happening to a couple clients, and they just got into contract, but they're buying in one of these counties that's considered a disaster area. Okay, now just to give you guys some perspective, because I like rambling for extended periods of time. Sonoma County, which is where I live, which is where I am right now. I don't know why I just checked. I think I'm tired. Sonoma County is larger than Delaware. No, larger than Rhode Island, 200 square miles smaller than Delaware. Okay, so it's big, right? It's big. The fire's over there, there's houses over here, they're nowhere near it, but we're still having the same requirements. And insurers are not actively granting new policies until this is cleared up. Right? They're not. So clients are like, oh my God, no one will insure me. And we're like, you got to wait 2 weeks, which is horrible during a purchase, because during a purchase, we want you to get an insurance quote up front. And the reason we want that is because we have to use it to calculate your debt to income. You need to know what to expect on your monthly payment. And no one ever thinks about homeowners insurance, but it is such a big part of your monthly payment. Where I live in California, my insurance is like half my payment. Seriously. I mean, I do evacuate every year. There's so many beautiful trees around me. Pray they stay. Anyways, so people aren't able to get insurance policies right now because of the disasters. So I think it's super important that if you're watching this, you realize if you're trying to buy a house and you're like, no one will insure me, they might as soon as it's over. This happens every year. In California, we have the California Fair Plan, so you can always get some level of insurance. It just might be more expensive and it may be different than you were expecting. So if you're very sensitive to price, you can't get a policy right now, I would strongly suggest you ask your realtor for an extension of time so that your contract, you don't want to be in a pressure cooker where you're supposed to close in 5 days and then you find out your insurance is going to be twice what you expected. So if you're in a position where you can't get insurance right now, be proactive, ask for an extension of time, use the insurance as the reason. I would strongly recommend that across the board. As I'm saying this, I'm going to call that client and tell him to do it right now, because he could be in for a real shock once the actual policy is clear. We've seen, in California especially, we've seen the insurance premiums go, rightly so. It's on fire every year. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful. As always, if you have questions or comments, please put a comment here in YouTube. And if you liked this, like it. If you want to subscribe, do it. I need the algorithm to be cooler. Or schedule a time on my calendar. So the calendar link should be in the comments or somewhere. We're easing away from email just because the emails become really overwhelming and I really hate not responding to people. And I'm at the point where I can't respond and I hate that. So please schedule a time to talk with me. It doesn't cost anything. I'm very sassy. It will be fun. Thanks for watching, guys.